Hi guys, welcome back to Elegate TV. As part of our efforts to let students understand how the student leadership works, we have a very notable person from the SRC. And as we all know, SRC is the highest decision-making body of the students. So it is important that you know how this leadership is working and how they are operating. We have a very notable person from the SRC who is in the person of His Excellency Fuseni Alumire Awombela, and he's going to give us more insights as to how the SRC functions. So stay tuned for more insights. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, we have the SRC Vice President here. Honorable, you're welcome. Charlie, how far? Everything good here. So you look good. Thank you very much. So, Honorable, now that you are here, please tell us a little bit about yourself and then the position you are in, how it is, and all that.
Uh, Thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I would like to say good evening to your listeners. And I am Alum Hussein Awimbida, and the SRC Vice President UDS Yampala Campus. Yes. And the position, everything is going on. After all, all praise be to Allah, His protection. Yes, we are moving. All right.
Thank you very much for that. So now that you are here, we want you to help the students body understand what the whole SRC is about to be able to understand how student leadership works.
Yeah.
So I'll start with a few questions, then we'll move in depth as we proceed. So I want you to briefly explain what is the SRC, what is the function of the SRC, what core mandates that the SRC operate on, something little about the SRC, so that we move on.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Per the school constitution, the SRC is the kind of the structure that communicates between students and that of the school authorities. And SRC represents the students in the school management. SRC creates a good relationship between students and that of staff on campus. After all, you can just summarize and say SRC ensures the welfare of students on campus.
Okay. So we are saying the SRC is in charge of ensuring the welfare of students on campus. So moving forward, this is a follow-up question. So how does the SRC ensure the welfare of students on campus? How do they do this? How do they how do they operate to be able to attain this particular function you just spoke about?
That's a good question. That one, SRC will have to, first of all, get closer to students, know the problem the students have, and push it to the management, and make sure management, they view on management until whatever they want is being done. Let's say students need some, let's say classrooms and other things are not okay, and SRC have seen it, students are complaining, something like this. SRC will visit the necessary offices to make sure that everything is done.
All right. Thank you very much. Now that we have understood how the SRC operates and all that, I would like to know your view as the vice president. What is the major role you play in achieving all these functions you stated that the SRC does? So, what is the role of the vice president?
That's it. The vice president is just like the president in his absence. When the president is not there, the vice president represents him and do any other thing assigned by the president. Yes, and be a ex officio of all committees of the SRC and a non-voting member of the SRC committees. The vice president who does anything assigned by the president. Let's say there is something the president will have to do and might
occupied or something, not bully in his after. He can be there and tell me to represent him.
You mentioned the word ex officio. Like, what does it mean? Because I myself, I don't understand. And I don't know if all my viewers would understand that.
ex officio is formally being a member of a group, yes,
Okay.
or relating to a group, not entirely a member, formally invited to be because of your rank.
Okay. So I'll move on to the next question since you've been able to tell us the role of the vice president. So the next question is about the impact the SRC has on the students. So how does the SRC impact students' social and academic life on campus?
SRC impacts student social and academic life on campus by advocating for students' needs to be solved and also doing some few things that they can use the SRC funds to do to help students to be safe on campus or to ensure students' welfare on campus.
Okay. Okay. Then I think the SRC has a lot on their table. Looking
Sure.
at what you are mentioning,
Yeah.
I think they have a lot on their table. Or you don't have a lot. You don't have a lot.
A lot in terms of duty or
Yes, yes. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, that
in terms
one
of
is
duties, you
yes,
have to
yes,
do.
yes.
Yes.
That one
Okay.
is a lot.
So let me ask about this. You see, you have been mentioning they take students' concerns, students complain to them. I want to ask how do you gather these students' concerns? How is the SRC able to gather these concerns of students and then take them to the administration or the school authorities?
First of all, SRC, before you can be a member of SRC, you have to be students. We are students and we know and can see some of the problems. And talking to our people and through the General Assembly, all various level representatives and faculty association secretaries and presidents having meetings together at the GA when there is anything to be solved. They too, though we present the business of the day for it to be deliberated on, but they too they come with their suggestions for us all to take it upon ourselves to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you've mentioned this and you've made us understand how this works, I want you to, so far that you have been in the administration, you are the SRC vice president. It's not an easy task. You have a, how do you call it? You have a big say in what the SRC does. Am I right? So far in your administration, how effective has the council been able to address student issues or student matters? So, like, how effective is it? How will you rate it?
Okay. For now, like let's say if I'm to rate it, I should be talking about last trimester because we just resumed long ago. So for last trimester, as we all know, we were not having funds. But even with that, we did all we can to, I mean, do
Secure
some
them.
few things
Okay.
for the benefit of the students. Okay. Yes, we actually did. I think for not having money as a student and looking at what we did through collaboration and our own pocket money. To me, if I'm to rate it per the trimester and not the whole year, I will say something like from 90 to 100 there about per the trimester.
So if you are rating from 1 to 10, you give it a 9
Yes.
or 9.5.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So looking at we are talking about the students. So let's talk about how the students are helping the SRC. So I want to ask how effective or how will you assess the participation of students in SRC administration activities? So let's say you guys are having a program or you are having something for the students. How are they involved in these sessions? How do they help you to be able to accomplish what you are supposed to do?
Mm. With that, as a student, what you can do to help SRC is just to collaborate with us. If we have a program, we can't do it. We can't organize a program and sit in the program alone. Even let's assume when we invite a company to come and organize something for us and they come and the number is not encouraging, the company themselves will not like that. So we just think whenever students see anything concerning SRC, not only program being organized, you see something that you think SRC could have attended to, then you can just, come to the office. Oh, this is what we want you to do. And I think when you do this, and that, it will help us all as students. So simply just, collaborating with SRC. Yes.
That's fine.
Collaboration and cooperation. If you have your own something, collaborate. And if there is something to that need to be addressed, then we are all in for it as students.
Okay. So, looking at last trimester, I think SRC was able to organize a number of programs and then had a few collaborations with other associations on campus. So, how would you assess the participation of the students, like from 1 to 10? How would you say the students are participating?
You see, this academic year have been one of the academic years so far. My 4 years of being on campus, I think students are participating in SRT activities.
For the last trimester.
Yes.
So now that you are seeing their attendance, are you rating them a 10 over 10 or something lower?
Okay, probably might be lower. But
The students are watching you, so if you like, so let's say
to be honest, it might be a bit lower, but not that too low.
okay. So average, they are attending. Okay. So now let's move on to the administrative work of the SRC. You know, the SRC is a body, and then not all the people in the SRC are voted for. So I want to ask, how are appointments handled? And then how does the council ensure that the appointees that have been appointed are actually doing their job and then they are taking responsibility for what they have been assigned to do?
That's a very good question. SRC appoint committee members. Let's say the president appoint committee members in consultation with the MOOCs and the WUCOM. Whoever being, if only you are a student, no matter your level, SRC can appoint you, assign you to something for you to do.
Okay.
Yes, and for SRC to make sure that appointees are working, that is why me as vice president have to be in all the committees. I'm just automatically a member of all committees. And non-voting member, when they have some meeting, then I have to be there.
But
listen, let's say, yes, I'm not voting.
Okay.
They are deciding what they want to do, then I'll also be there listening to them. For them, if there is any voting, I'll also see them. Whatever they decide, I'm also the communication channel between the SRC and that of committees. So me being in their meetings, knowing what they are doing, or the SRC to get to know what the various committees are doing.
Yes. So now that you've mentioned this, you've answered my question with regards to how you monitor the appointees, how they work. But then I want to know what's the criteria for the appointments? How are the appointments made? Because there are a lot of students on campus. We have about 4,000. So how is the SRC able to select a few to be able to work with? So what criteria do you look at to select someone?
As students, at least we know each other and we also hear people. So if we know it will be good at, let's say, entertainment, someone can even recommend you to SRC like this person is good in entertainment, so why not assign this person? And we do background check on the person to know whether the person is really good in entertainment. If the person is good, then probably enter. Then people that the SRC know, they can appoint them to. And if you are being recommended to SRC too and we need your services, we also do some background checks to know that you are credible and appoint you to the association.
Okay. Now we're moving to a very crucial moment in our conversation. As the students or the student body will be very interested, I want you to explain how the finances work, especially SRC dues that is being collected by the SRC, and then the portion of the school fees that is being assigned to the SRC as the students' SRC dues. I don't know how you call that one, but I want you to explain the difference between these two. Yes.
Thank you very much for the question. The SRC dues, when we say SRC dues, that one is part of our school fees already. Whether you're a continuous student or a fresher, your school fees component of it is SRC dues. So the one SRC leaders collect on campus is just for souvenirs.
Okay.
Yes. So before they can collect that one too, they have to do budget and send to the dean of students for them to approve. Let's say this year the freshers come in. I would like them to get this, let's say pen, book, this, and that from the school, a customized product from the school. So that's where when the money they are talking about is reasonable, then the dean give them the permission to collect that money. So the one they collect on campus is kind of for souvenirs.
Souvenirs.
Yes,
So the SRC dues that we all know that we paid in 700 is for souvenirs alone.
souvenirs.
But then the main SRC dues on which the SRC operates on, the administrative work, what they use for the administrative work,
Yes,
is from the school itself.
yes.
So if I may ask, I don't know if this is confidential or the student has to know, the student body have to know, what portion of the school fees is allocated to the SRC as dues for students?
Mm. But that one, no. Okay, it's not
It's not
confidential.
confidential.
It's our
Okay.
money. So
Okay.
whenever you are being questioned for anything concerning money as a leader, you have to, say it even if it is confidential.
Okay.
So about that one, I think it varies though, but the one we know for now is 95 cedis per student.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
but it varies sometimes. Some, depending on how the number of students, uh, I mean, the number of freshers that comes in a year,
Okay.
the school consider if they are to give you something like 95 Ghana cedis, your freshers being small, it won't be able to, I mean, carry your activity. They can give something like 105. So it's between that range.
Okay.
Yes,
So for each student that pays fees, you are giving
yes,
95 cedis to 100
yes,
cedis as SRC dues
yes,
for you to be able to do your work.
yes.
All right.
And
So now that we've understood how the finances work, how the SRC dues, the ones that are paid by students, and then the ones that are given to the school also works. Let's move on to the SRC dues itself, the one that's collected.
yes,
Based on past experiences, I think you've been in school for 3 years,
yes,
and then you've paid 1100 SRC dues before.
yes.
Do you think the souvenirs that the SRC gives to us as students, do you think is what the amount that we pay?
That one there, it actually depends on the administration has at that very academic year. I wouldn't know whether I thought they wanted to buy that they really bought to get it. But for our own, what I know is we did a budget for the things we wanted to do, not just sitting there doing budgets. We got someone who is into that. We question the person about, let's say, if you want a t-shirt, how much can you help us a t-shirt? Then they give us the price. Then we ask how much can you give us for pen? They give us the price too. So when we sum it up, it was roughly a bit even 170 Ghana cedis. But because of some negotiations, the other things, the people accepted that if we will give the contract to them, they will collect that and give us the items we want.
Okay.
And we too are to supervise and make sure that the items come with the best quality.
Okay.
Yes.
So you think the souvenirs will be what the amount they
Yes,
have paid?
yes, yes.
Okay. So now let's move on to the funds that are given to the SRC by the school.
Mm.
Who approves budgets the SRC makes in request of these funds? And then how is it ensured that these funds are used adequately? And then who ensures accountability and then transparency?
Okay. This one is it's a very good question. The SRC itself, let's say the judicial, the General Assembly
General Assembly.
is the highest decision making body for on student level. So when SRC want to do something, they do budget, a proposed budget to the General Assembly. Then the General Assembly will then decide whether to accept it or not. So when they see that the activities you want to use the money for, what the price is, then they will allow it. Not they cancel it, and you can't do anything about it. But in case they approve, you have to send it to the vice dean of students on campus here. You send it to the dean of students at Bundu. Send it to the VC, the pro VC, the VC. Then it comes back to budget, and a whole lot. Like the process.
Who is the last on the chain
for it to come back here?
for it to be approved, for you to get the money?
Yes, I think it should be the finance audit to go through, finance to go through, and I don't know who is supposed to do that, but all of them are supposed to, have a copy of the budget.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. So, previous administrations, we've heard about budget delays.
Yes.
Have you experienced this as an administration? And then, if yes, why are these budget delays happening?
The budget delays due to maybe the maybe if the budget is kind of ambiguous or something like difficult to understand. You bring some other numbers there that when the people, the various offices, the budget have to pass through are even looking at the figures in a confused manner. You get it? They will not approve it fast for you, and how available those offices too are to is part of it. So if you are lucky and they are always there, they will do it. But if they are having some misunderstanding in some of your figures inside the budget, you can even be called to explain why those figures are there.
So, have you experienced a budget delay
Yes.
in your administration?
Yes.
So, are you saying that the budget you had was ambiguous? Like,
Not-
it was difficult to understand.
No, our budget was due to the future bills. Okay, yes. The time we went in not long ago, the end of the year, and a lot of the various people that I was mentioning, for example, the UBC, the Western Bill, the one in China, when they came, they need to visit some of the chiefs around, meet them with the trophy and other things. So we're not getting them. Yes, you're not getting them. Even with that, based on what I heard, you said our budget number gets bigger than previous administration. Because as I'm speaking now, the budget is being approved, and we are doing necessary things to make sure that the money gets to our hands to do whatever you can.
So it's approved by it's in your hands yet.
No, like when the money is approved, it's being accredited to the students' account through the student account. So, and then with that, it takes, at least some few days before it reflects in our account. And even when it reflects, you have to request from the vice dean of students away before we can pass something out.
I'd like to take you back to when you were an agenda boy. I don't know if you remember when you were an agenda boy. And one of your campaign promises was Wi-Fi. And then the students are complaining that they haven't seen any notable progress with that particular campaign. So I want to ask, what is there for students? If there's still hope, realistically, what should the students expect? Is it coming in or not?
Yes, they should. You anticipating for the Wi-Fi probably. I think we don't want it to even get to the middle of this one. Like we bought the how do we call it? We make sure that all the equipment for the Wi-Fi installations are in. Yes, that was yesterday that my boss done upon the president when primary to receive the last year. So with that, maybe from this new boom, Wi-Fi will be on time.
So far, for the administration, do you have any challenges you are facing? Like, are there challenges that has hindered your ability to function?
Okay. But because I need a bit clarification. Concerning my office as vice president or the entire administration.
Yeah, you are speaking on behalf of the SRC.
Yes, yes.
So for this question, talk on behalf of the SRC.
That's nice. The SRC is, you don't have much challenge. And there will be small issues, big challenge before you.
I want to make something clear. So what I'm saying, you don't have much challenges. If something doesn't go on well, there's nobody's blaming you guys.
I get it.
I'll blame you. That's what I'm
I
saying.
didn't finish with that. You have to let me learn before, even though I'm like to help you. You said yes. We don't have much, but the definitely there are interferences. Okay. Yes. If any, governors, we have to make sure that all of members know what is going. And because of rotations and busy and other things, sometimes some of us fail to do those things, and it's drawing us back or it's kind of interfering in our progress. But we believe as time goes on, everything will be well. And you don't have much, you don't even have to get problem, let's say, general assembly. Because general assembly, they make this decision for us. Though they might interfere in some of our programs, but I wouldn't call that the failure. It just kind of interferes in what we want to believe. We couldn't, if you are not well understood in explaining those programs, yes, but in all, we are making a progress because so far that everything is now we are working within countries. I said we have to talk to living in Poland. Someone said we be outside the country, but now that we have to just do things within countries, I'm sure we'll be able to carry a lot of the programs.
So there's no much challenges as I am thinking. That's fine. So, Honorable, now that I'm reaching the climax of our conversation, I'd like to ask you to have a few words for our coming candidates, the new agenda boys in town. Since you've been an agenda boy before, since you have a word for them, let them hear it so that we end this conversation.
That's a good answer. Most of them are our senior brothers, that of juniors, definitely. Not all of them will be older than us. And I know some of them too have even been in higher positions than I've been. And most of them too have said have also been in positions that they've been. But what I have to say is you should just know that student politics is not that politics we will see as those who cause competition with you on your family. Just have to make sure that whatever you are doing, because we are doing this for the betterment of the students. Look at it. At the interest of the student. You don't have to do something and later on you do that. After all, how many years are we going to serve people? Just some feelings. For me, I have to say, on my Twitter, I just believe any purpose you are being given to handle is part of your trust and those. So God can let you lose something, not because He doesn't love you, He loves you. That you don't know the test you'll be facing them. You want to, yes, kind of let you escape this test. But I think whatever that comes, you should accept it.
So, as you are moving on in your time with that, as you are progressing, what should the students be expecting from the SRC?
All right. For instance, we have a lot of video programs. Some of the programs are our traditional programs. Let's say if you are to talk of SRC with some bullshit, it's not something that we are initiating. It's a traditional program. So as SRC, you make sure that you make sure we organize it very well. See the like us, make sure the students like it. And we also make sure that the Wi-Fi we promise or the Wi-Fi the administration gives us necessary
you out of me there, that's
Yes.
me agenda.
But whatever that is,
But MTN is
Yes,
something
yes.
somehow.
you make sure that that what you works and how do we call it? You have some initiate something done. You also have, let's say, SRC, our secretarian was given by the school. We don't know when we will chase him up. But we will start the SRC, the construction of SRC secretarian.
You have put in a new security. Wow.
Yes.
And you guys have a whole lot.
You make sure that you start initiation. You initiate your building this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our SRC Vice President has explained to us how the SRC works and all that. And to my agenda boys, I hope you've taken this word into consideration. No confusion. If you lose the battle, you might cry, you can cry small, but then don't take it too personal. And I'd like to see a very big thank you to you, Honorable, and then the whole friends and SRC administration for taking time to be here to give us some clarifications on the questions we have. And to our viewers, thank you very much for watching, and then stay tuned for more content like this. Bye.